Hello, Gaddis Gamers. So we got into a conversation yesterday about our hobby and the costs to you that are just getting in to miniatures, wargaming, and playing, and about where people are coming from. Are they coming from, their first introduction is probably not miniatures wargaming. Their introduction is probably D&D or playing D&D with miniatures, or maybe they're coming from Magic where it was like cards, or of course, the 40K, introduction at every store you go to, you can see 40K there. But and the cost relative to playing, to being a hobbyist, to being a gamer, and particularly focusing in on being a miniatures gamer. And so, I was advocating for the fact that, as a historical miniatures gaming company and doing Weird War, you know, people equated that to like doing sci-fi, but, doing Weird War, the cost was astronomically cheaper than playing 40K, not as cheap as playing D&D, unless you're GMing and you need all the monsters and the dungeon tiles and you go, whole ham into that. But considerably cheaper than Magic and 40K, because 40K you're spending between $400 to $800 for an army to play, which which models fall in and out of favor based upon how GW feels that week, or how they're play balancing for tournament players, even though 70% of the people don't play in tournaments. So it was a really long and thought-provoking discussion for me, because I'm thinking, what kind of value is Gaddis Gaming offering to our player base, right? So you could get a book, you could get miniatures, dice, tokens, all of it for under $150, and be ready to play with one faction. So if you spend $300, you have two factions on the table ready to go. The same price as a Warhammer box set, that when you get that box set, you still have to buy more stuff to go with it. If you're going to play 40K, if you're not, kill team or combat patrol, but then you buy multiple armies. So, and then I was thinking, it's even cheaper for Weird War if you already have historical army and you want to do Weird War. You can take, the billions of firstborn space marines that people are dumping for Primaris, and you can repurpose those into your heavy infantry, and then your Terminators can be super heavy infantry. There's some examples there, for you guys to look at from our Weird War game that we played. So you can repurpose a lot of the stuff that the Warhammer people are getting rid of, or in the sales bins or whatever. Throw in some zombies, some Eisenkern troops from Mark Mondragon, and and there's your heavy infantry for Germans, ready to order, as well as the selection of items that we have for Weird War. Your what if tanks, your Tesla coils, your laser beam cannons, your plasma launchers, all of that, and you can just outfit up, your troops, and away you go. So by mixing in some items that are already out there, that we provide for you, or you want to buy some historicals from us and mash them up with the 40K stuff that you have laying around in the bits box, you're good to go. And we come up with new stuff all the time, for people to add to their collections, depending on whether it's World War One or World War Two, depending on how you're Weird War gaming. And for all you guys that have just got into the Curtain of Iron, Vietnam with laser tanks, we just, it just keeps going. So that Weird War genre, by a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you can have the best of both worlds for under what you would pay for, a Magic deck to compete with, or a 2,000. What do the people play now? 2,000 points of 40K, which could be between $400 to $800 depending on the army that you're playing. So for a fraction of the cost, Gaddis Gaming provides a gaming solution. The rules, dice, tokens, miniatures, all of it ready to go in a box to you. So that takes some of the pressure off of your wallet. It's you introducing your friends to this style of play at your local game store. Bust it out, play it for an hour, bring two armies and sit down and put a little sign that says, hey, looking for a player, looking for a gamer, and see who sits down and tries it out with you. I think that there is a lot of ways to do this. And I know that like the pressure around me is always, get a 40K army, play 40K, but there's much easier rule sets, much more cost effective ways to play, using guards. We have the Easy Army Builder for guards, so you can take any unit, stat it out, and away you go. If you have a miniature that's already there. I know I did that with my my Kador rifle guys. I use them as sci-fi infantry for Shattered Crown for my World War I army, and they double as special infantry for Soviets for World War II with the armored guys and guns. So with just a little bit of imagination, you can use stuff you already have lying around, add it to your Gaddis Gaming miniatures that you already own, and really get more bang for your buck. Make that army last longer, pulling double duty in historical and in weird war and even sci-fi settings. So I think that we offer a reasonable, cost-effective alternative to some of the other companies that are out there. I know we're bad at capitalism. I know we should be maximizing, our profits and all of that. But we are gamers like you. We're hobbyists like you. We want to be able to offer a quality product at an affordable price. And when I'm looking at the prices that some of these other companies are charging for product, I think that we offer a very reasonable alternative to that. And so we're bad capitalists at at worst, and enthusiastic gamers at best, because we want to see you on the table. We want to play with you. We want to make this a social event for everybody, to feel welcome at our tables, and we try to lower that barrier by making a cost-effective product that everybody can get into, So hopefully this has given you some food for thought. Let me know what you've done to maximize your armies. How have you gotten them, to the table at a cost-effective rate? I know we could get into the whole thing about 3D printing, which is a hobby unto itself, but that also has a cost and a learning curve for getting into that. So if you do 3D print, that's an even cheaper way to get your miniatures. So again, let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on it? How did you do it? How did you crack that nut for the sensitivity issue around cost-effective gaming? How do you create armies at a price point that is reasonable? Because I know everybody's sensitive to what they're playing and the perceived value that they get from their armies and what it is that they're paying for, and everybody wants to, you're willing to pay more for quality, of course. But how did you do it? How did you approach building your armies and getting the most bang for your buck? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, like, share, do all the things, but most of all, happy gaming.